fans, friends, family members, about to go live to be interviewed by Lyn. Could you tell her name, please?
I am Lyn-Dee Eldridge, the Chief Happiness Officer of the Happiness Jungle.
We're up here in Nashua, New Hampshire. This show is being taped live, and it will be shown when?
To be announced.
To be announced. That's TBA and TV talk.
To be announced, yes. Very excited. Oh my gosh. So this is before we start taping. We're just getting ready for the guys in the back. A matter of fact, let me give a good shout out to them, right?
Good shout out to the guys in the back. Nashua Public TV station.
Absolutely. We've got Dick back there today. We have Harlem. We have Pete and Dan. And we have Paul back there. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. If I've missed your name, didn't mean to. I got a great crew here.
And they have good snacks on the way in, too.
Okay, we're ready.
All right, here we go.
Going live.
Going live.
In 8, 7,
That's a countdown.
6, 5.
Well, hey there, everybody, and welcome to the Happiness Jungle with yours truly, the Chief Happiness Officer, Lyn-Dee Eldridge. And I am so excited today, this afternoon, to be able to have in my studio with me a gentleman who understands how to build a life, who doesn't need to take a vacation from it. You're building a life where you never need a vacation, huh, Ron?
Well, I'm trying to. I'm in the process. I believe that it's possible for all of us to build a life we don't need a vacation from. You just need the correct tools.
Everybody, please give a good hoot hoot, even though you're in your living room, to Ronald Couming. Woo! And Ronald, you are a master of many things that connect people together all over the world. And you have many entities. And to be honest with you, when I title my show, I think of the person who I'm interviewing and what inspires me the most. And I called you an amazing connector, a master of connectors, because every time I've seen you, I've met with you, we're always involved in the same inner circle of powerful people that are around just trying to accomplish greatness. And that's what attracts me about you. So tell me more about you. Tell me about what makes your mojo go mojo.
Caffeine.
Ooh, there you go.
No, I firmly agree with that. And you know, to use a couple of quick little catchphrases, but I believe them too, is your net worth can be related to, directly corresponds with your network. So I believe in associating with, as much as possible, like-minded people or people who are at 3 or 4 levels higher than I am in whatever field I choose to be in, because it elevates me. And being around them just makes me a better person. And I also, when I'm working with people, I like to include them and bring them with me.
And you do an amazing job.
An
amazing job. We were connected because of another powerful woman. I'm going to give a good shout out to her, because if you're not connected to it, you should be. And that's CamiBaker.com. CAMI Baker.com. And I bring her up because if it wasn't for her, you and I would not be sharing this wonderful moment or moments with.
Yeah, and Kimmy Baker is a star in her own right. And
Yeah.
we started out working together. We met at a networking event here. I believe it was in Massachusetts. And we met and we started talking. And I could tell right off the bat when I heard her talking. She was talking to 2 other women. And I heard her talking, and I could just tell the language she was using and some of the tips that she was giving out, that she had attended certain events, because her whole mental and emotional state was elevated. And you can tell other people who are playing at a higher level. And so I went over right away and just started talking to her, and we just started connecting. And I followed up with her, and from there we've gone national. We've gone to Chicago. She's going to be speaking on the same stage. We're going to be speaking on the stage in San Francisco.
I applaud you for that. And that's the beauty. I always want my audience to be able to leave our television show with taking action. Because I believe that there are hundreds, thousands, millions of us that are in a transition. And it doesn't matter how old we are. We're in a transition. Whether it's a personal or a business transition, there's something going on. And it could be very exciting, very happy, or something to say to people, okay, I need to find something new that excites me, that revs me. Give them a suggestion, because you're a master at this.
Well, first, when you find out whatever your why is,
How do they find out?
You have to deep inside. You have to go inside. One of the events I go to, Rainmaker, is a gentleman, Bill Walsh. I really like him. He's a great man. He's a massive connector, too. And he talks about, one of the things he'll have you do, part of his program, is he'll have you go into your Facebook and look at some of your pictures and what means something to you, because often those are events in your life, people in your life, places you went to, or pictures you saw and you reposted because you like that. That's somewhere you want to go. So these things all together create your why: family, friends, events, things you want to do. And when you can really connect with your why, that's because once your why is big enough, not only will you find a way, but it will compel you. You're not traveling to your why. You're not traveling to your destination. Once you get the correct mindset, it's pulling you. You have no choice but to get from here to there. And you're going to, I don't want to say lose, but you're going to leave a lot of things behind. And sometimes it's people and relationships too, but it's because you're being compelled to a better self. You're being compelled to a better future, and it's something you just can't control. But when you figure out your why, your path, you'll be on path and purpose, and it's just, it's wonderful.
Wow. You also have a radio show.
I have a radio show Mondays. It's called Internet Marketing and Business Solutions with Ronald Couming. It's on Mondays, WCAP 980 AM, and 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's broken into 3 sections. The first 2 sections, I interview people, often from around the country. Sometimes they're local. And these are also thought leaders. These are people who will bring people up to another level. And so those are the first 2 interviews. And then the third one, I give out tips. I'm an internet marketing expert. I've written a couple of books. I'm an author. I'm a speaker, a national speaker on internet marketing and business solutions. So, and then I give out that tip in the third section. We also put the clips out, so every, 2 days after each episode, we post the clips. They'll be on my YouTube channel, ronaldcouming.com, and my websites, and also on the WCAPs.
Right, and that's why you are the master connector.
We got to get you on there someday.
I'm looking forward to it. You invite me on and you consider me there. I cannot wait.
Yeah. Now, next week we got Sharon Lecter. She's written 21 New York Times bestseller books. She co-authored Rich Dad, Poor Dad with Robert Kiyosaki.
Wow.
And she went on to write a whole bunch of other books, and a lot of them are for females. But she does a lot of books for people, but a lot of books for women, because sometimes women, they're in relationships, or their economic situations are different than men, and a lot of the stuff out there now is kind of geared towards men, and it's not gender specific. So she kind of has that slant, but she has 21 New York Times bestseller books. And information.
Goodness gracious. You see, you are a master connector. You connect with the best of the best. Show is all about you. I want our audience to realize that they can connect with you, they could grow because of you, not because so much of you, but because they're now channeled with you. And it's so funny because I feel like we're on this cruise ship. But on the cruise ship, you have your seas and you're going and you're floating. All of a sudden you reach some storms where we all can collaborate together, but then when it starts to calm down, we feel peace because of the energy that we've brought in.
Absolutely.
Your inner circle is to be applauded. I just want to put you up on that pedestal because you bring such value to my show, to the audience. What you said about Facebook, that is an action that everybody can do. What if they're not on Facebook?
Any type of thing where they have pictures, and maybe some people aren't on Facebook, or they're on Snapchat, or they're on Instagram, but if they don't have any of that, chances are they have pictures, and they can create their own collage, and they can just paste them on a board like we did in high school, or we did in high school.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Today's high school is probably all done on iPads, and you know what I mean?
It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, I know some schools you can't even go to unless you have an iPad or something. They don't even do books anymore. Everything is on So, but being in the technology world, I love it, but I just see such a contrast from like when I grew up. And I remember when my parents used to say things to me like, well, when I was a kid, and it was like, yeah, right, really, right? But now being, 29, it's the only lie I'm ever going to tell you guys.
Me too.
But being 29 now, I can see, going back, I can see just so many amazing changes in the world. So it's just funny how the times change. We become.
We have to become,
Yeah.
or else we go stale and crusty.
Yeah.
Right?
No, not a good option.
It's not a good option. So for those, there are so many people that I meet that they say, oh, I want to be happy, I want to succeed, I want a new path. Oh, I'm not going to ever buy a computer. I'm not going to get trapped into that. What are your words of wisdom for them?
First thing is, stop saying what you won't do.
Yeah.
When you're trying to figure out what your path and purpose is, there are no no's. Because any no is a wall. And you have no idea. When you're in the process of finding your path and purpose, everything is open.
Right.
And once you start to shut down things, you limit your opportunities. And once you start limiting your opportunities, you're limiting your growth. And then you're only going to go so far in life. Everything is, no matter how much success in life, the most successful people I've met, first of all, when you're seeing them and they're that successful, that's 10 years later. When they started out, they were you, they were me, they were everybody else. They were just sitting there, they were wondering how the bills are going to get paid. Should they do it? Should they take the leap and become an entrepreneur? Should they change into a different field? But now we see them at 10 years, and what they're doing is, it looks easy, but that's after they've done all the trial and errors over the 10
Very
years.
true.
And a lot of it is you get your automation down, you get all your IP stuff, and all this stuff that I can talk to people about. But it's going back to your question, in the beginning, you don't ever want to say, I'm not going to do this, I want to get ahead, but I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to do that. Forget about it.
Right.
You're not ready yet. Go
Exactly.
back to your W-2, go back to your work, and until your mindset is correct. And it's not a negative thing.
That's right.
Because if you're not ready,
You're not ready.
those bumps you talked about on that cruise ship, and it's not the Love Boat, those bumps you talked about, right? They're going to be so much more. But mentally, it's going to be, you're just not right. So when you hit those bumps, you're not going to be able to weather them. The definition of an entrepreneur is someone who's able to withstand risk. Wow. That's, if you look in the dictionary, that's what it stands for. So, but if you can't mentally and emotionally take that, right, it's not your time yet. It doesn't mean that you're wrong, doesn't mean that it won't happen for you. It's just not your time. You know what I mean? Go read a few more books. Listen to Jim Rohns, John Asseroff. These are some great people I listen to every day. I start my day with 10 minutes of Jim Rohns every day. John Asseroff, I think he's a giant. He talks all about people talk about neuralistic language, these type things.
Yes.
But he talks about with your mind. And so it's all about perception too. Your perception, how you perceive something, will determine your mental and your emotional response to it. So there's a lot to it.
That's fantastic, and I couldn't agree with you more. And not everybody is meant to be a business owner. I want to make sure everybody understands that there are many people that are W-2s, and what I mean by that are an amazing asset to companies and their employees.
Absolutely.
And these employees have great value. But make sure, I want to reach out to them, because sometimes their mindset is, I can't help people as much as I want to because I'm afraid that they're going to take my job. Can you share something about that kind of mindset? Because I want to reach out to people. I speak to people all the time. And some of them say that to me. I want to help out more people, but sometimes I feel stuck in jeopardy of my own position. How can I be more of a giver? How can I be more gratifying and make more value, not only for my business life, but also for my personal life? I'm not saying that I want to be friends with the people I work with outside, but how do I balance that?
I think that as you were talking, I was thinking of two examples.
Yeah.
I first started in the tech industry, and it's hard to believe that I'm only 29. This was probably early 1990. Hopefully the cameras, they say, takes 10 years off you weight-wise, right? Or do they add it? They add 10.
We look 10 years, 10 pounds heavier.
In order for me to get to 29, hopefully the cameras will take 25 years off me, right? Or is it 30? I don't know. But anyhow, I was thinking about two. When I first started, it was in the early 90s, and I went to a nonprofit.
Right.
We got a bunch of computers that insurance companies and banks, when they upgraded, they would donate like 125. And out of 125, we would fix up like 75 or so, and then we would donate them for free to area schools and boys and girls clubs and churches that couldn't afford to buy them. But this way here, the kids who go in there could learn some tech skills and, possibly, just do better in life. And so then we would have extra products left over from the computers that we would use, the parts. So we had to create a database. And the person who created the database, I remember, and it's amazing because this is, 20 years ago, easy, right? And when you said that, I automatically thought of him. There was one time when we were talking, and he was talking about when he created that database, that he created it in such a way that nobody else, because usually when you create a database, when you're writing your code, you'll put like a little memo down there on what it was and why it was for or something. So somebody coming behind you will understand the code, you know what I mean? Because you're talking HTML code, real code, not like WordPress stuff. I'm talking real coding. So he did that, and he did it in such a way that he thought nobody could take his place. So he thought that was job security, and he really isolated himself. So he wasn't talking to too many people, but he thought that ensured him. He ended up getting fired because he was not a team player. Wow. And then they called Big Daddy in.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
Who's 29.
Who was a lot younger than that. But I went in, right? But I knew the gentleman's mindset. And I really had not really done much coding. And this is before front page, so I'm going back. Wow. You know what I mean? So I hadn't done much coding, but I just sat there and I just looked at it for a couple of days. It was like VB 6.0 and Copal and all these other ones. And I just sat there and I just watched, I just looked at the flow and what was going, right? And within 2 days I had figured it out and I rewrote the whole code and I put those memos down there. And I went on within 6 months. I went in there, I really didn't know much about the whole industry. Within 6 months I was training everybody in there. And then after a couple of years, the program kind of disbanded. But I kept reading the books, I kept getting the magazines in the mail, and I ended up starting my own company. And but that's how I started. I started doing it because I wanted to give back. So I started doing stuff for charity. I didn't get paid for any of that.
That's very powerful. So you gave in order to be able to receive. And you said one great important thing, that the person that doesn't want to really reach out, they isolate themselves into this place of, I'm not going to talk to anybody. I fear, as long as I don't teach anybody what I know, I have job security. Well, here's a clue for everybody. There's always someone better than you. Always.
Even if they don't know what they're doing, they can. Yeah, so you have to have connections. You have to have, people skills. You just treat people with the same respect that you want to be treated with. And life is just so much easier.
It is. And you're going to grow and enjoy your days better. The other thing that I want to share with people is that, unfortunately, corporate America is not a solid ground. It is very, very unstable, just like that ocean. I don't know why the ocean and the sea is coming up today. I don't even like jumping in the ocean or the sea. But what I do understand is that there are different storms in our lives, right? So this is all about, I guess, the sea and the storms today between you and I. I don't know why, but that's what the universe is bringing.
I kind of like the cruise analogy.
Should we go on a cruise?
I would love to go on a cruise. Did I tell you what I'm doing? When we talked about building a life you don't need a vacation from, I already booked 2 months in St. Croix, February to March, and going to San Fran, November 1st for San Francisco, California for 16 days.
Oh my goodness, holy McGillicuddy!
I didn't even tell you about December. I'm going for 10 days to Las Vegas. So when you talk about building a life you don't need a vacation from, it's I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's easier to do than you think. You just have to tweak your mindset, your perception, your reality, and just think a little bit different.
I like that.
Because if you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always gotten.
And what's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Amen. So let me just go back, because people say sometimes that I sidetrack.
Yeah,
let's go back to the ocean for a second.
That's an ADD sticking in.
Because I just want the people to realize that if they only have a plan A, start looking for the plan B. Not that you're doing anything wrong. You're securing your today and your tomorrow.
Yeah.
Find something that you're passionate about and start involving yourself in the greatest inner circles that have the common interests.
And it's so easy today.
That know more than you about it, so you can learn from it and become better.
And it's so easy today with the internet. You could, you know, I see people and I tell them that unfortunately there are so many people who play video games.
Yeah,
They come home from work, they play video games or
What is up
watch
with that?
TV. It's just, you know, that's got to stop. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it's not healthy. You know, type 2 diabetes is on its way, you know, if you continue down that
Yes.
road. But it's also your mind doesn't grow. So you can listen to Jim Rohns. You can watch
Yeah.
a video on how you could replace me, how to create a website. You just go on and you learn these things. Or content management, become a writer. So while you're doing your 9 to 5 or whatever it is, your W-2 job, you can still do other things at night and on the weekends to learn and to make money, but also to start, you know, being in you know, your own business while you have the safety of that W-2 money. And then after you build up that clientele where it's about 60% of what you get or what you got over here, that's enough where you can let that go, because now you're getting 60% roughly, while you still have 40, 50 hours over here, 40 hours work,
Yes.
an hour a day, transportation, whatever it is. So now if you do that, now you can add an extra 20. So now you're getting 60% from your part-time gig that you did on your own. So now you can stop doing this, and you can now you have an extra 40 hours or 50 hours to do this. So that 60% is now going to go to 120 or 130 in time. So now you're going to make actually more doing this, and that's when you're going to be free. Because some days I'll work till 10, and then I'll go out, and I'll go to the beach, and I'll hang out till 3. I'll make phone calls from the beach. I'll use my phone to do business, whatever
Right.
it is. Come back home, work from 6. You can set your own schedule. You know, you have freedom.
Right.
While you're sitting, while somebody else is sitting in a high-rise office, you know, maybe don't even have AC, you know, you're sitting up on Hampton Beach or somewhere else. So you're still doing some work, but you have the freedom to choose when and where, and that type of lifestyle is priceless.
It is priceless. And you said, you know, I want to share with you, just yesterday, of course, when I was an entrepreneur of the brick and mortar businesses.
That was yesterday?
That was just
Today's a new day,
yeah,
guys.
'cause I'm only 29. I'm only 29. So yesterday, I was a single mom, and I lived in South Florida, and I owned a hair salon spa, and I owned a pet store at the same time that was an adoption center for all the rescue organizations.
Nice.
And then a gentleman came into my store, and he shared another business with me, and it was internet marketing. And because I gravitated towards the product and I loved it, I became a part of that too. So when you talk about you've got to make time for your tomorrow, that's what I had to do. I didn't go home and I didn't divide myself into the television. I spent more time now on my third business, while I still had to concentrate on my number one job, which was being a mom.
Yep.
That's number one.
Always.
And then my two businesses. So I understand exactly what you just shared. If you're not open to change and you're not willing to take the blinders off and look at the opportunity before you and then take the actions, then nothing's going to happen for you. And within 2.5 years, this success did not happen overnight. But the third business, which was the internet marketing company, in 2.5 years of working that very part-time, spare time, following the system, just like you said, there's systems. That industry paid me out more money than both of my businesses did. And when it was consistent, like you shared, when it was consistent, I sold both businesses. And now I'm here with all the time, freedom, and a whole different today than I ever expected yesterday. And my tomorrows are amazing.
And
So,
it happened because you had an open mind.
yeah,
You had two businesses plus being a mom.
Yep.
So it wasn't like you weren't busy.
that's correct.
You know what I mean? So when you know, so you had every reason, every excuse not to do
That's
it
right.
and not to succeed. And then on top of that, it took 2.5 years. My internet marketing business, that's a tremendous story. My business is like with social media, email marketing, and I help businesses.
That's what I want to get into now. I want you to share that because what you provide as a service
Right.
is such an amazing value. That's what I want my audience to hear about now.
Excellent. And my company, my name is Ronald Couming. My company's name is RCS Technology Solutions.com.
Say that slower.
RCS Technology Solutions.com.
Okay.
978-606-5432 is my phone number. We provide companies, business owners, entrepreneurs, regardless of what stage they're at, we provide them with internet marketing related activities that will get them from where they are to where they want and need to be. We help them achieve even greater success. Some people have had some success to different degrees. So we're not saying that what you've done is wrong.
Right.
We're saying we can take whatever you want to do or what you've already done and expand upon that, like on steroids, legal steroids, and just you start just to make a ton of money. But the difference too is also we can automate things. Like as I was sitting here today, I had 11 different sites got blog posts that I had already written. So I was sitting here, but I automated that. Actually, I have a stern rule: MWAs, no more MWAs, and that's minimum wage activities. So I had anything you can sub out for $8 to $10 to $11 an hour, you do that, and you focus on your most productive activities, whether that's sales, networking, meeting with people, customer hand-holding, whatever it is, you need to focus on that. All those other things, because there's a big difference between being busy and being productive. So all those other things, you just got to sub them out. And if you think you don't have money, you better have that money. If you're doing a $10 an hour job, how are you going to bring in, what's going to pay you? The average pay for a millionaire is $541 or $521 an hour. So how are you going to make it? How are you going to work on your business?
Right.
If
Can
you're
we
stuck
just
in
stop
your
right
business?
here for 1 second, and then you need to continue, so don't lose where you are. People say that they can't afford it, that they only make $10 an hour, but yet they smoke cigarettes, or they drink beer, or they drink wine, or they eat a steak. I remember eating
coffee.
ramen noodles. Ramen noodles. I remember, yeah, I remember getting a whole chicken, and I would not touch the chicken because I had to have it for my baby. And I survived on stale Ritz crackers and cheap cheese and ramen noodles. Go ahead, take that back. I want everyone to realize that success doesn't come because you have money.
Yeah.
It's because you created to choose to use your income in a different way.
Exactly. So, and I had people. I had a niece who actually, when I bought my 2016 TLX, and I put a picture up, she had said something to the effect of, "It must be nice." But all I could think about is that she smokes cigarettes, and at one pack a day, that's $360 a month. That's more than my car payment.
Wow.
So what people choose to do with their money, you know what I mean? They spend
It's not
their
that
money.
they don't have it.
They spend it irresponsibly. But I don't know if that 53 seconds means we're about out of time.
We are. This is crazy. Come back again.
To the audience, my name is Ron Couming, RCS Technology Solutions.com. My personal website is Ronald Couming, RONALD COUMING. Please contact me. A lot of my stuff is totally free. I really like John Asseroff, and that's, we just give stuff away for free. If you can do it yourself, great. If you can't, think of me, and also if you know somebody who needs my services, I pay 20% commissions, but I'm here to help, and like I said, 90% of what I do is I just give stuff away for free, so thank you so much for having me.
God, Ronald Couming, you have made my day. Thank you so, so much. And everybody there, Happiness Jungle always tells you that life is not easy, but you can be happier, and you are a master connector, and I feel very blessed to have had you a part of this show today. And everybody on FaceTime Live, thank you very, very much for hanging in there with us, and I hope you enjoyed it. Come back to thehappinessjungle.com.
Thank you so much. Now, we're still live.
The
show ended, but we're still live.
And here's a heart from mine to yours.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
my
a wrap.
goodness. Thank you.
That's a heart.
That heart is all about, so whenever you're having your happy thoughts, but you're a little bit stressed out, you have something that you just hold. We love to fiddle-faddle. And then I got to give you this card, and it's the permission slip to never forget to be happy.
Excellent. Thank you
Ron?
so much. And I love that story you told earlier about the girl who helped the guy get the
It's
orange.
true. The little girl.
That's a tremendous story.
Right?
We're about to go off, guys.
Good stuff.
Thank you so much.
FaceTime Live, you rock!
On the bottom, you just hit the finish. Bottom right.